For instance, you have Nokia, then you have Motorola, then you have this Taiwanese company where many people committed suicide in China. Foxconn. That's good. Foxconn is there, and then there is a government SEZ where there are many small companies, which have come up. In fact, there are already other clusters in that region. For instance, Hyundai is there, Asahi is there, so there are other clusters as well. The possibility was that they could actually support each other and there would be a lot of spillover effect. That was when I went there first. That was in 2007. I visited them again in 2009. And I found that the factories have come up because when I went there, even Samsung was under construction. In fact, in 2007, when I went there, there was this inauguration of this Bhumi Pujan of Samsung that day. It never came up. So, it was very promising in 2007. In 2008 when I went there, factories were operating, but the mood was very different from what I saw in 2007. In 2007 it was optimism in the air. Everybody was so much enthusiastic. They were talking about their plans. I visited Nokia. They had this for human development, for this personality development, for the workers. They had various courses. I personally saw all that, what was happening there. How to eat. Because many of these laborers were from the village side. So they were being taught how to eat, how to sit on the chair. There were personal grooming classes within the factory premises. That's what I saw. Then there were classes for yoga that was happening. I was told how these people moved from one class to another, and this electronics head was so happy. He had such big plans. He was discussing all that with me. Now this time when I went in 2009, it was totally different. People were totally disappointed with the uncertainty in the policy, with the lack of government support in the creation of social infrastructure. Lots of factories have come, but there is no place to stay. People have to come from Chennai. Every day they commute from Chennai to that area, and the rush is as bad there as in Delhi. Okay, all of them have to incur cost. Then that reduces the number of working hours, because you have to leave at 6 o'clock, otherwise you can't reach your home by 8 o'clock. Okay, so there is always, and in export industries, this is not how they operate. They have to be there, they have to be operating there 24 hours, because you have to meet the demand. And there are very strict time schedules. If you have to supply tomorrow, you have to supply tomorrow. It is not that you are supplying it 2 days after the deadline is over. You will have to pay fine and you are out of the value chain. So the mood was of gloom. It was very, very gloomy. They said that whatever the Foxconn actually is having some sort of dormitory also, but they are not happy with whatever is happening there. Motorola was totally thinking of moving out. 2 subsidiaries of Nokia had already left. So things were not really working well, and at that time it was very clear that things are not going to happen the way they were planned in the initial period. And all this happened because of this, because of the controversy that was, unleashed against special economic zones without really thinking how could they be useful for the country, and how could they promote the country's competitiveness in the industrial sector. So all these controversies happened, and government responded by withdrawing, by policy reversal. That actually hampered the morale of the industry as well. And then came the recession. Okay, so that also contributed to the, obviously that had to contribute to but China had to survive that because of the competitiveness that they have already generated. So this clearly shows that despite all that, there was controversy, the number had increased, but actually the operational FATs are very, very small. So yes, there has been increase, but I am not very keen to show you. It is on there on the net how the performance has been, how they are performing. But actually, in reality, the numbers do not tell you anything. On the ground, very little is happening. Okay, so nothing much is happening, and the expectation, the performance has been below expectation. Okay, so less than 2/3 of the approved zones have been notified. Of them, only 1/3 are functional. There are only 5 states where some activity is reported, and these are the well-off states. These are the 5 states where, but here also, nothing much is happening. Now let me tell you that Andhra Pradesh wanted the labor laws to be relaxed in activities, and for that they presented their this labor policy. They submitted it to the Ministry of Labour, and the Ministry of Labour outrightly rejected that. The same thing happened with Maharashtra. So both of them could not really come up even with their Special Economic Zone Act, because the labor policy was a part of their SEZ Act. So there is some labor flexibility given to Gujarat because they passed their SEZ before this act came. In 2004, Gujarat passed its own Special Economic Zone Act. India's Special Economic Zone Act came in 2005. So somehow, they got away with that relaxation by the ministry because there was no controversy by that time. But no one is going to get that kind of flexibility. IT Special Economic Zones are the major ones. They are contributing 84% of employment, 60% of investment. Now people say they criticize Special Economic Zones on this ground. But actually this is a result of the controversy which happened, which actually came because of manufacturing requires huge investment, let me tell you. It is a very risky investment. This manufacturing investment for exports is very risky investment. It requires huge investment. If there is no certainty of policy, if you are not sure what is going to happen, whether you are going to reap some benefit out of it, you are not going to invest. Why should you invest? Okay, so that is the reason that manufacturing zones could not really pick up, because there was some time gestation involved in that, and people didn't want to take risks. IT Special Economic Zones proliferated because we already had competitive advantages in that. Time gestation period is very small, so they came up. Okay, most of them are, IT Special Economic Zones. Then there are only 5 Special Economic Zones which contribute 30% of employment, 40% of investment, 64%. Let me tell you, this Jamnagar refinery SEZ is the one that is actually contributing 33% of exports. Okay, that alone. So when you look at the export figures, nothing much actually is happening on a wider scale. This entire export business is actually limited in a few Special Economic Zones. So the performance is much below expectation, and I am dealing with the ministry also. I am interacting with them. I know that ministry is not keen. The Government Secretary is not very keen on Special Economic Zones. A new concept of zone has come. What is that? NIMZ. These are full form is National Industrial Manufacturing Zone. Now the government is very keen to develop that. But there is the same problem not come in the development of NIMZs. What is the difference between NIMZs and Special Economic Zones? The only difference is that NIMZs are closed, whereas SEZs are closed, whereas NIMZs are not closed. They will be open, but they will be as good as multi-product Special Economic Zones. They will be industrial towns along the lines of Special Economic Zones. So the same problems are going to come, but the old concept is abandoned and the government is moving on to a new concept. Okay, so the story is perhaps tomorrow the new secretary will come, a new concept will come, and people will forget about NIMZ also. picture is very, very bleak. There is uncertainty of policy. Tax incentives are to be diluted substantially when they come. Land acquisition policy is in limbo. You will never know what this when this act will pass. And even if this act passes, this is going to affect the industrial activity very adversely. Okay, even the savings of this. There are so many problems which is so lies to so much of corruption, which is already so much in this country. Okay. Then we have no labor or environment deregulation, restriction on infrastructure. Government is considering revision in the policy. I don't know when the revised policy comes, but this is what the situation is. So what is the problem? The conclusion is that we are very different from China, in size, but in practice we could reap the same kind of benefits as China because of the way clusters were coming, okay, because they were also being set up to reap the economies which were present already there, okay. But then the difference was that, and both the countries face the same problem. In China, they were criticized a lot. In India, also there was a lot of criticism. But then the difference was in the approach of tackling that criticism. In India, because of the democracy, we had our own constraints, and the government responded to that constraint by withdrawing, by reversing the policy. Whereas in China, they were committed to make them a success, and they went ahead with it, and they actually made it up. They thought that they would make it up. Okay, and they actually worked very hard for that. And today we know that they are known for this. So there is need for strategizing of SEZs. But then, what is also very important is they require strong commitment, intense focus on growth, and knowledge of the necessary conditions for the growth, and belief in the strategy adopted. This is what is not there in India. Okay, so that